Hello, beauties. We all know your hair can dominate your entire look. It can be the reason as to why your features shine, enhance your skin, and make you feel overall great. But the wrong hair color can dull your skin, make you look older, and even sickly. As a hairstylist of 18 years, I'm going to walk you through all things hair color, from finding out what your actual color season is to understanding how light or dark and warm or cool you can go with your hair. Are you ready for your best color yet? Let's go. First, we need to briefly and quickly go over color analysis. Understanding this helps prepare you for understanding why a hair color will or won't work for you. And there are 4 main color seasons of winter, summer, spring, and autumn. So winter and summer are our cool tone seasons, and spring and autumn are our warm tone seasons. So each of these main color seasons have what is known as subseasons, which you can see listed here. These subseasons make up a total of 12 seasons, and your unique features determine which one of these you fall into. What season you fall into is determined by your dominant and secondary characteristics, which I am going to help you figure out in just a second. But knowing your color season tells you a lot about what colors work best on you, or maybe what colors don't complement you as well as others. So now that you understand the layout of the seasons, let's move into determining your dominant and secondary characteristics. Your dominant characteristic is going to be one of these 6 words, and it's when 2 out of your 3 features, so skin, eyes, and brows, that you would use the same word to describe them. To determine what your dominant characteristic is, we're actually going to remove your hair color from the equation. You are here because you're unsure about your current hair color, so you'll want to have your hair pulled back fully away from your face, and you'll also want to have no makeup on, so this will allow you to see your features in a natural state. You first want to start out by looking at your skin, eyes, and eyebrow color. Describe how each of these things look. On myself, my skin color is light with warmth to it. My eyes are a dark brown with golden speckles, and my eyebrow color is medium with slight warmth. You'll want to notice what the common word is that you use to describe your features. So in my case, the word is warm. If we use Courtney Cox as an example, the words that I would use to describe her is that her skin is light and bright. It very much has a glow to it. She has bright blue eyes, they really pop, and her eyebrows are obviously dark compared to her skin. So in her case, the dominant trait is bright. Once your dominant characteristic has been determined, you are then going to determine your secondary characteristic, and this is going to be either bright, muted, warm, or cool. Figuring out if you are warm or cool is fairly easy. Think about whether you look better in gold or silver jewelry. On myself, gold tones create a warm glow. I look like I have a little bit more color in my skin, where silver washes me out a little and perhaps makes me look a little bit more pale. On Courtney Cox, the silver really brings out both her eyes and skin. They blend together perfectly. The gold tones her skin down a bit, and it no longer looks as bright as it naturally is. Determining now whether you are more bright or muted is a little bit more difficult. You could opt to take a picture and put it in black and white to look at the contrast level between your eyes, skin, and eyebrows. Courtney Cox, we can see that she has a high level of contrast. Her skin still looks bright, and there is noticeable difference between her skin and her brows. On myself, my contrast level is a little bit more muted. There is difference between my skin and my eyes, but it's a bit softer. Once you have both your dominant and secondary characteristics, you can then determine your color season. So my dominant characteristic of warm and secondary characteristic of muted makes me a warm autumn. And I've actually done an entire video on my color analysis where I compared brighter and muted colors on myself that you can check out next if you want. It'll be linked below. For Courtney Cox, her dominant characteristic is bright. So that means her secondary characteristic is going to be either warm or cool, and we determined that she is cool, so that makes her a bright winter. Knowing your specific subseason is helpful for a lot of things, but I'm going to be keeping these subseasons grouped together. When it comes to your hair color, what works and what doesn't work for each subseason is quite similar within each main season, so you'll get more than enough knowledge on your hair color today. And before getting into the hair colors, be sure to let me know in the comments what season you fall into. Are you one of the warm seasons of spring and autumn, or are you a cool season of winter or summer? I love getting to know you guys better, and I love chatting with you in the comments, so be sure to let me know your season below. The winter seasons are all about cool tones. Winter seasons, you tend to have higher levels of contrast naturally, and most times, typically, you naturally have darker hair, but there are plenty winters who have lighter hair as well. I'm going to use Nicole Scherzinger for our winter example. Her skin is quite bright in appearance. It really has this lovely glow to it. While her eyes are dark, the whites of them are bright and they really pop. And of course, with her hair being dark, she has a lot of contrast. This embodies the features that we see in a lot of winters. Now, a lot of people may assume she is a warm season, such as autumn or spring, due to her tan skin and brown eyes, but let's look at how her features change with different hair. With her hair lighter in a common caramel color, it starts to blend in a lot more with her skin tone. The naturally high contrast she has, it gets taken away. The whites of her eyes even dulled down a bit. Is she still gorgeous? Yes, absolutely. But the warmer, lighter hair, while it gives her this bronzy appearance, it doesn't provide the same level of pop that she has when wearing her hair darker that is in line with her color season. If you are a winter, can you go lighter? Yes. But the tone is key. Again, winters are cool, not warm. If you have dark hair and you want to lighten it up just a bit, opt for lightening your hair no more than 2 to 3 shades lighter. You'll want to use words like neutral, ashy, or even mushroom to describe to your stylist to let them know that you're wanting to avoid too much warmth. Shades in this range allow you to go lighter while still being able to tone out the warm gold or brassy tones that you don't want to see. If you want to have lighter blonde shades in your hair to maintain that coolness, you need to stick to icy, platinum, even more violet-based blonde shades. The ashy blonde tones are going to suit your skin much better and allow your features to shine, where going too gold with your blonde, it's going to overpower you and clash with your features rather than enhance them. And we always want to enhance. Springs, like winters, are bright in contrast levels, but the difference is you shine in warm tones over cool. For those of you in the spring seasons, your natural hair colors vary from light to dark, but springs do best with obvious warm tones. Because golden warm tones are far more likely to appear in hair when changing your color, I think that springs have a bit more wiggle room compared to our cooler seasons for different shades. How much lighter or darker you take your hair though, you will want to be sure that you take your contrast level into consideration. Looking at Julianne Hough here, we see high contrast. She has bright skin with a peachy warm tone, bright blue eyes that contrast well with the peach tone, and very bright blonde hair. The brightness of her hair pairs well with her eyes, and there is a nice contrast with the skin. When she opts for a softer shade of blonde, it sort of tones down her overall brightness. She doesn't shine quite the same. It makes her appearance more muted or dull, which goes against the brightness that springs naturally have. In cases like this, I think you're better off going with a true darker brunette shade, but still in the warm family. So by darkening your hair, you keep contrast with your eyes, and having lighter golden pieces helps keep contrast in your hair. So it holds true to the spring season. And I'm actually really torn here on whether I prefer her as the bright creamy golden blonde or the darker rich brunette. You guys will have to let me know which one you think looks better on her, bright and light or more dark and rich. I have had so much fun planning this video and playing around with all the hair colors, so I hope that you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. And just like the winter months want to avoid warmth, if you're a spring, you want to avoid too much ash. Ashy tones are going to give you more of a drained appearance and dull out your features. You might hear comments like, "Do you feel okay?" or "You look tired," where warm tones enhance the natural warmth of your skin, keep you looking brighter and radiant, and really create that beautiful, healthy glow. Like the spring season, the autumn season is warm, but it's not as bright. Autumns have a lower contrast compared to the spring season, and while the hair remains warm, it is a little darker with less brightness, but still very rich. Because you're warm like spring, you do have a variety of colors, but you'll do best in hair colors that offer a soft appearance with subtle contrast to help you shine most. If we take Britney Spears, we've pretty much always seen her as a bright blonde, the hair you would expect to see from a pop princess. But if we take a closer look at her actual facial features, she's actually very soft. Her skin, eyes, eyebrows, they really blend in. She's obviously warm and falls perfectly into the autumn season. So let's see how different she looks when we change her hair color and even outfit to match her natural features. She instantly has this perfect glow to her entire look. Her face warms up, her body looks more tan, and honestly, I am so obsessed with her hair darker like this. Even with the dress in the cooler color still, the darker hair, it still complements her well. I am a huge Britney fan. She can do no wrong in my eyes, but I thought, girl, I wish I could do your hair like this. That'd be like a dream. The blonde, it doesn't look bad on her. She's always kept it a warm blonde, so it works, but it is fun to see how her features change with a color that is more in her season of autumn instead of trying to be a spring. On myself, I don't like to go too much lighter or darker with my color. This allows me to stay in line with my color season, and I feel it really enhances my features, where when I get too light or if I even go too dark, I think that it just kind of creates too much intensity and contrast, even though it's warm. I've been both colors, but I think going only like 1 to 2 shades lighter or darker is more complimentary on myself. And just like spring, you want to avoid ashy tones. If you are in autumn, ashy dull tones will really drain the warmth from your features, which we want to avoid. Summers are the cool cousins to winters, but summers do better in softer shades. Think ashy mushroom browns, neutral to ashy blondes, and even platinum. The guideline of avoiding too much warmth is something you'll want to follow in the summer season. Too much gold or yellow is going to wash you out. They can make your skin have like a slight yellow or green hue to it, and you'll do much better in neutral shades. Rich espresso brown shades that lean cool over caramel are ideal for those of you who want to wear darker shades. And blondes, it is harder to fully cancel out yellow when wearing a lighter shade, so keep that in mind. You may need to get a monthly glaze, but you want your blonde ideally to be as neutral and cool as possible to keep your skin having that fresh, healthy glow. The contrast levels of summer seasons can vary. If you have a high contrast level, you'll be able to pull off even darker shades, giving more of a winter vibe possibly. If you have a medium level of contrast, going too dark is likely going to overwhelm you. You would be better off going a little lighter, but remember again, avoid warm with your lighter shades. The most important thing to remember about choosing the right hair color is making sure it's one you love that enhances your features and makes you shine. And hey, if you like wearing a color that is out of your season and you love it, that is perfectly okay too. Confidence is the best accessory that you can wear, and I hope this video has helped to inspire you and give you a better understanding of what hair color will look best on you. Drop a heart emoji in the comments if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to hear even more on hair color and color seasons, you can check out this video right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!